the show this evening. It's Battle of the Fans are excited. As always, to be back here. Mari, it's been a crazy it's been a crazy evening already.
Right? I don't know why you have to start with this kind of laughter.
Well,
But it's fantastic to be back. By the way, we're having fun, and that's the only way you can grow younger and be happy. You have to always be happy, and it's a good way to return to the show, talk about the big breaking and trending stories all across the globe, right? And well, I'm excited to be back, and that's why I'm laughing this way.
right now, on the show this evening, we'll look to review week 1 of the English Premier League. The Spanish La Liga is back this particular weekend, but before that, there's the UEFA Super Cup built for later tonight. It's between Champions League winners Real Madrid and the UEFA Europa League winners in Eintracht Frankfurt. We'll look at that, giving very fine details, transfer stories as well, eye-catching transfer stories. So stay right here with us and join us every step of the way. My name is James. Marizona is here, but there's a third man, Blyden, waiting by my far left to bring you up to speed with the latest football stories from Africa and beyond. Blyden.
Thank you, Brad. So good to be on the show. It seemed like today will be a day full of laughter.
I think so too.
One, when you talk about sports, talk about football, and talk about all the analysis that has to come with today's event. It's the Battle of the Fans, in case you're just watching and tuning onto your TV set on Spectrum TV, and it doesn't get better than this. We're talking about the big stories in football and what's affecting the globe all around it. We'll begin with the World Cup. Stories around the corner says the World Cup is set to start one day earlier than planned on Sunday, 20th November, with host Qatar taking on Ecuador. The Group A opener was due to be played on the 21st November as the third match of the competition. Well, the opening match of the tournament was to be Senegal against Netherlands earlier on Monday. However, the administrative arm of World Governing Body FIFA has submitted a proposal to move the Qatar game. It followed discussion with Qatar and their opponents Ecuador after receiving a request from the South American Confederation's CONMEBOL. It fits in with the tradition of either the host or the holders being involved in the opening match. Still talking about sports, looking at transfers, Cremonese have signed Nigerian forward Cyril Dessers from Belgian side Genk for an undisclosed fee. The newly promoted Italian Serie A club were among a number of clubs interested in the 27-year-old. Dessers was top scorer in the inaugural Europa Conference League last season with 10 goals for runner-up Feyenoord. According to Dessers, he said, "I feel like a child unwrapping his Christmas gift by joining one of the most illustrious leagues in the world." Talking about the Serie A. The Belgian-born Dessers, who decided to play international football for Nigeria in 2020, was on loan at Feyenoord last season from Genk. And the big story, it's all about the Super League, but not in Europe this time, it's in Africa. CAF President Patrice Motsepe has launched Africa's Super League with prize money of $100 million. During the 44th CAF Ordinary General Assembly on August 10th in Arusha, Tanzania, Motsepe said each member association is set to benefit from the money accrued for the inaugural competition set to begin in 2023. The total prize money of the CAF Africa Super League will be $100 million as said before, with the winner receiving $11.5 million according to CAF. $50 million will be allocated to CAF from these funds for youth and women's football development and for CAF's competition's global competitiveness. Well, some of the club owners tell me, that's Motsepe talking, that when they play in the Champions League, talking about the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup, they have to spend money on transport and logistics. What we are planning to do, according to Motsepe, is in the Super League, is going to give each of the 24 clubs that will participate in the initial Super League or league competition $2.5 million in prize money for participating. The $2.5 million should be used to buy players and assist with transportation. What level of transportation is fees there? The Super League will officially kick off in August 2023. That's it, right? Exciting stuff.
Yeah. First up, let's begin the conversation here, Mari. quickly talking about Cremonen's snappy of Nigerian striker who's now 27, finished last season as the UEFA Conference League's top scorer with 10 goals in 13 games. We're talking Cyril Dessers. Joins up with his Nigerian compatriot, rather, we're talking David Okereke. We talked about this earlier on,
right.
you know, offset well, left the shadow of another Nigerian striker in Poland Wacho at Genk. Well, it looks like he's leaving for another.
Yeah, right. But the story for David Okereke, and you know, this is basically Okereke is more of a winger. He plays as a winger at Cremonense, and then this just goes in there as the top marksman for the Cremonense side. So I think there would be no case of any clash, you know, as to who plays ahead of any other person. Both of them can afford to start the same starting lineup for Cremonense in the new season. I think I'm happy for him. And there was so much talk about how he'd be able to seal a deal out of Genk, judging from the fact that Feyenoord were not able to meet up with his wage demands. You know, he performed remarkably well last season for them, helping them to the final of the Conference League, but just could not seal a permanent deal to that side. So I'm happy for him. He's going to play European football for the first time, at least a top 5 European football for the first time in his career, which is a good thing for me. And I think I love the fact that he's also embraced the competition in Serie A, and I just wish him the very best. I hope that he links up with Okereke very well, and he puts his career on a good pedestal, right? All right,
now, Blaney, let's still talk about Cyril Dessers. Well, it's been in and about Europe. We talk about you know, his career so far. There's a sharp guy, can score goals, but at 27, still trying to find his footing in Europe's top 5 leagues in Italy. Heading there now to the Serie A, what does that mean for his career at this point in time?
Well, let me say this, Bright James. I think the problem with Cyril started when he left Heracles. He showed a lot of class at Heracles, playing in the Dutch league, and at that point went to Genk, the Belgium league. Big concern for me at the time, because you looked at it, you're leaving the Dutch league and moving to the Belgium league, the Jupiter league. It could be a big concern because they're not at the same level. Most often, players leave the Dutch league and go into these other leagues to perform, and leave the Jupiter league, going to this other league to perform. And that had been the scenario. But be that as it may, the good thing about Cyril Dessers has been the fact that right now he's moved to a known league called the Serie A, and there's competitiveness, and you never get to play in a bigger club if you don't get to be dominant in this level of competition. Talking about the Serie A, from my standpoint, is a good move, though the newly promoted side, but it's a good move. He can build his profile from there. Who knows what can happen? He's 27, but he has about 3 years plus to play. Nowadays, folks are playing football till 37, the likes of Ronaldo, and talking about Ibrahimovic. He can play a long time, maybe 5 years coming, and perform at the top level.
Right now, Mari, let's come back further home to the continent of Africa and talk about the story concerning the launch of the CAF Super League.
Right.
For $100 million as money injected there, and Bladden just, the last second to the last paragraph got my attention. $2.5 million for teams, transportation, and then of course taking care of welfare and all of that. $2.5 million, and that's the same amount. The Premier Club competition here on the continent of Africa, that's how much they get as winners. We're talking the CAF Champions League. The winners get $2.5 million, and for just participating in the Super League, you get 2.5. Winners of this competition get $10 million more than the winners of the CAF Champions League. What does this say?
Right, first off, the major attraction, for the CAF Super League is the financial benefit. That's it. That was basically the idea behind it. And then Motsepe, the CAF president, has talked about it time and time again that, the CAF Super League promises so much money, and I think that's a thing for them. I'm particularly excited with what's happening, with the CAF Super League and the fact that this is going to be a lot of money. And then you talked about, £2.5 million for transportation. Right? Do you realize that, teams participating in CAF competition spend at least £2.5 million in cost, logistics, dollars rather, in cost, logistics, playing and all of the transportation and all of that. So I mean, it's most times these teams play from the preliminary rounds all through to the final sometimes. So it's a lot of money, and then most times they are basically left bankrupt, sometimes cash trapped. So the CAF Super League comes in with some financial cushion for bulk of these teams to help them get some more money. And I also like it. It's the fact that it's the top clubs in Africa that are participating, because these are the only clubs basically that are regulars in CAF competitions as well. So it's a welcome development for me. And then there's been a lot of people who still feel that it should have been rejected, same way the European Super League was rejected. But I think it's two different sides of a coin, because look at Europe, it's a lot more developed, and most clubs get money from outside. You know, their funders, you know, get money from TV rights and all of that. But you look at Africa, it's basically club owners that fund the club. So competitions like this help them make more money, which for me is a good thing.
Right now, Bladden, when the idea of a Super League came up in Europe, was quickly, you know, thrashed out. And in fact, teams that spearheaded that, you know, had court cases against UEFA, FIFA, and the rest. Well, it's come to Africa, and we're wholeheartedly embracing it. It's like, you know, honey and butter for us here. What's the difference between the European Super League, the projection, and the CAF Super League, and what it means for the continent of Africa and the football landscape here?
Right, James, let me start by saying this. I think it's coming from the very top, not CAF now, but FIFA. You see what happened in the Europe concerns. The Europeans doubted the necessity of the Super League in Europe. First concern was the probability that smaller clubs, look at the likes of Stoke, might not really get to benefit from it. One, because if you have a Super League, what it means is you have the likes of Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, and all the big clubs, Chelsea, playing one Super League, and all the traction and attention goes to them. TV rights, sponsorship deals, and no money for these smaller leagues. And talking about the Premier League and other leagues become a shadow of themselves. That had been one concern. But another concern from a European point of view, talking about FIFA now, was who controls this league? You get it? Because someone needs to control it and put measures. If the club owners are the ones in charge of this league, they become bigger than FIFA one way or the other in terms of the funds that comes through it, and it becomes a big concern. But the template now is to test run it in Africa. Will it work? Or what would be the outcome? We do not know. But in the long run, it's good that the Super League is around. Let's see what will happen in the Super League. Let's see the performances of this club and the money, how the money can be well spent.
Well, this would be an evolving conversation. The conversation will carry on, and of course have it all through this particular, because we can't exhaust the angles and of course different facets of this particular discussion. But we'll hit the breaks here very quickly, and when we return, we'll be heading straight to England and looking to review week 1 in the English Premier League and the results from there. But meanwhile, let's head now to Craven Cottage and relive the moment. Fulham versus Liverpool. Battle right here with us.